Okay, now welcome back. We are moving to the second part. First part, I try to tell you what is the manual, and then versus the computerized accounting bookkeeping. That is actually the basic idea that we want to achieve over here. What we see over here is a business process by itself. It's a process, right? Start from journal to report. Start from recording to the report. So over here itself, it's a process. Okay, over here itself is a process. What I would name it, record to report. All right. Over here, you can see how the computerized accounting and how the first process you have been brought to your mind is record to report. Supposedly, the first process, not this one, the first process should be the sales, the sales process. But since I want to show you the manual to computerize, focusing on the software, accounting software, we'll look at the first process over here, record to report. And this is one of your 5 chapters later on that you will learn. Alright? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? There's chapter 1, chapter 2 to chapter 6, alright, which covers your midterm. Alright, 1 to 6. So in the chapter 6, you will learn about record and report. That chapter itself, you will go into much detail about the process. The process doesn't end over here, right? It replicates 100% the manual, but now it is in the computerized format. So you're going to expect what? The process doesn't end over here, there's something over here, right? Something over here. When you do the journal entry, there's unadjusted entry. Remember that one? Start to come to your mind, right? There's unadjusted entry, the adjustment entry. Remember the adjustment entry?
Yes.
Accrual, you got the depreciation, you got all those things, right? All those things there are steps. So all the entry has been recorded, then you have to do this adjustment entry. So the procedures, the process, all right, we'll look at them in detail when we reach chapter 6, all right? Over here, I'm just giving you the overview. And actually, pretty much that's it about AIS. AIS is about how you convert manual bookkeeping to computerized. That's pretty much it about the AIS. But the thing is that we want to go and understand in detail, all right? We want to go and understand in detail the term accounting information system, okay? Term accounting information system, we can extract from this term is there's accounting and you are using the information system, right? You got the accounting over here and then you got the information system. And pretty much is accounting in the information system. And what is the information system? It's a system that captures the informations, right? Captures the information, the data, and then your ultimate goal is process it and then to get the output, which is the report, right? And pretty much that's the whole idea of AIS. But there are components that build up this AIS in this subject, all right? How we define it. If you don't define it, it's like normal like any other information system. Information system is some system that can generate information for you. Does that make sense? It can be any information system, means it can be any system that generates information for you. But accounting information system we try to make ourselves special. Try to make ourselves special. We say that in accounting information system, there are 6 components. All right, there are 6 components that are inside this AIS. Okay, over here is all the 6 components. Can you see them? Can you guess what they are there? Okay. AIS is made up of 6 components. The first one is, too bad I cannot zoom, I cannot pinch in this one. We got the user, which is the people, right? The concept of accounting information system, you should have the people to process, to be there to do all the work, right? They must be there. There must be someone operating the system. There must be someone receiving the information or conducting the approval, the review, or whatever task they are be given inside the process. All right. We got the people. We got the what is this thing? We go with the data first, right? We got people. We got the data. Data, right? We got the data, and the data will be processed, right? Then you got the process into the report, all right? Then we got the software and the IT infrastructure, and of course, ultimately, you need a control, right? Control to ensure that the process actually works. And these are all the 6 core components when you talk about AIS. Here is the confusion over here, right? Confusion, or what we always come about when you talk about AIS and accounting software. See this? This AIS over here, right? Accounting information system and accounting software. Is both of these the same? Is accounting information system and accounting software the same? No, but why? Yes, but why? Can I get you guys think in your brain, right? Think in your brain. Is AIS and accounting software the same? If they are the same, why? If they are not the same, why? They are the same because they process the data to report. Okay. The answer over here is actually goes back to how you define AIS and how you define accounting software. How you define. So in the textbook, all right, in the textbook means in what we use, all right, generally use term, AIS and accounting software. AIS is the big picture of the accounting software. Can you see over here the components, right? AIS contain of all of these components, and accounting information system. Accounting software is this one over here. Can you see that? This is the accounting software. So I want you to not get confused between accounting software and accounting information systems in this context over here. In the one that we are learning over here, AIS is the big picture. Accounting software falls under the AIS. AIS made up of 6 components. Not only the software, it looks at the people, it looks at the process, it looks at the data, look at the system, the infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and also the controls. All right? It's okay? Okay. Clear? This is the concept, all right? Then only we go down over here to this one. Accounting software, AIS versus the ERP, all right? AIS versus ERP now. Is AIS ERP? What is ERP, right? You come across your mind, question mark, big question mark. In the AIS, we have this, what we call the accounting software. Accounting software, by right, originally, all right? Originally, accounting software only deals with this thing over here, the one that I've been, the one that I talked to you just now, right? By right, accounting software only handles the journal entry record to the financial statement report. By right, all right? Accounting software only handle this. And what happened over here is that in reality, in a big business or in some business, the software not only record the journal entries, right? They record beyond that. What they record? Can you give me some example? The tax, right? That's right. You got the tax, and then tax we can relate to the human resource, right? Remember, they got the system, record the human resource means you record the people, you record their payrolls, record their IPF. That's not part of the accounting software. It is itself a system that records the payroll. Then you got the warehouse. Warehouse will have their own inventory system. They record their own products that has been transferred from one place to another place. Then you have the sales. Alright, you got the customer relationship management. You got the system by itself that record the order, record the delivery order, record all the complications, record all the processes that involves with the sales. Then the revenue, alright? Then you got the expenditure that records the expenses for other thing than the business, and also the expenses for their business goods. Can you see that? These are all different systems, right? Different information systems. And you got over here HR, you got the sales, you got expenditure, you got the what some more? Maybe production. All of these will have their own system. By right, all right. Originally, they are different. All right, they have different system. But after the year 2010, 2000, we start with the first ever information system is the Inventory Management Control, IMC. All right, that is when 1980 something, right? 1980 something, that is where the system first to introduce the information system, where just record the inventory. After some time, the system start to evaluate, start to become bigger and bigger. Then we come to a state where we call it the ERP system. All right, ERP system over here is the whole thing, the whole of this thing. The keyword is integrated. Integrated of what? The database. Remember you learned database last semester? And each database, remember you try to create the customer order database, right? And you have your tables, remember that one? If you only create the customer order database, then that's it, right? But ERP is combine everything, all right? All the data will be combined into this database. Database might have several tables. Does that make sense? So it formed the ERP system. What is ERP in long? Is resource planning, right? Enterprise resource planning, okay? Let me just put it over here. Enterprise resource planning, okay? It's okay. So what is accounting software versus ERP? ERP is basically an integrated database of different departments. Accounting software mainly focus on only this one, accounting, right? So you're going to see that there's an extension to this. So what happened over here is, instead of just record the transaction over here, one row by one row, the sales transactions, right? You have invoice straight away record in the sales journal in the system. You don't do that, all right? You will go through what we call a sales module. ERP system, ERP system, you have a sales module, so it will start with maybe sales quotation. Then you will go to the delivery order. Then only the invoice. When you come to invoice, when you post the invoice, then only it generates the journal transactions. This is what I mean by integrated system, right? It means that it doesn't only record from one end source, all right? It will be capturing the whole process. And that is AIS in that sense that we are learning the process, right? And the software over here is not only limited to the accounting software. It's the software that can be also the ERP system. So we will look into detail each and every one of these process. All right? How each of these process, all right, will build up the accounting software, and then how the information will be flowing from each of these cycle into the final reporting cycle. That is from chapter 2 to chapter 6. All right? See all the other data, right? All the other data is being combined and integrated. So this is AIS versus ERP. So in short, we always look at AIS is the big umbrella, right? And inside the AIS, there is the software, and software can be accounting software, can be other software, but ultimately the big umbrella of all the software is the ERP system, right? ERP system is the big umbrella of all the software. That is from our perspective, right? That's from this course perspective. So we can see over here is the evolution. We can see that it moved from manual to standalone software. Standalone software over here is the accounting, right? Manual, remember the one that I told you just now until you feel like I want to sleep? Yes. Manual to the computerized, right? So manual to the computerized, we focus on only accounting. And it is very important, all right? I must let you all fell asleep over here because this is the baseline. You must understand this transition, all right? You must understand the transition from manual to the computerized. Then from here, you move on to the ERP system, all right? You can see how different data will be integrated with this accounting system. That's how the process will come in place. Each of the process Then you will learn about the documentation. You will learn about the risk and the control that come along with it. All right. Then you got the latest one, the cloud ERP system, and finally the smart ERP system. Smart ERP system is digitalized, all right. We move from data entry to digitalization. What is digitalization? In simple, it's very simple. Means that smart, all right, being smart. Instead of you enter the data, instead of you manually input the data, everything will be automated. It's like smart house. All right, you want to open the light, you just click on your phone, on the light. You want to check whether the icon is on or not, check your phone, icon is on, you want to switch it off. Smart house, right? So we are reaching to that stage where the ERP system itself is smart. It means that if this business combined with the factory, you will use the IoT, then you can check what kind of process is being working. Or is it combined with the farm? You can check whether this is the right temperature or not for certain plant to be growing. Yeah? IoT, Internet of Things. Internet of Things meaning to say that you will integrate, for example, this icon over here, right? It's now integrated. I cannot control the icon. It will be controlled by the main. And then how they check the temperature, they will have a temperature over here. Then it will automatically report back to their main system. We are in the smart ERP this level, all right? We are reaching to that state where you can even check the product that has been transferred from one warehouse to another warehouse, or the product for sales, all right? How it is being kept track, whether this customer received the product already or not. We are reaching to that state of comprehensiveness, all right? And that's it pretty much about the